Hey, it's Jason from Pro Guitar Studio. Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at 6 different 7th chords that you can use to get started with some jazzier sounds. Now, if you already know how to play 7th chords, this might be a nice way to play through what's called a 2-5-1 progression. And I'll explain that in a few minutes, but I'm going through 2 different types of 2-5-1 progressions here. But if you're just getting introduced to jazzier chords, like 7th chords, it's a great lesson because we're going to go through a few different types of chords. And if we sort of dig through it, we have a minor 7, a 7 or dominant 7, a major 7, a minor 7 flat 5, a dominant 7 sharp 5, and then a minor 7 again. So at the end of the day, we have 5 different chords, but 6 chords throughout the progression, right? So 5 different chord types, I should say. So to start with this, we're going to take a look at the first chord. Now, I'll explain the theory in a few minutes, but let's just get into the chord shape. So we have the 7th fret, string number 5 down to string number 1 as a bar. I'm going to use my ring finger on the 4th string on the 7th fret, and my middle finger on the 2nd string on the 8th fret. And we play this from the 5th string down. This chord here is called an E minor 7. You can move that around anywhere. So the note name on the A string, whatever that note name is the name of your chord. E minor 7, F sharp minor 7, G minor 7 as an example, right? So that's our chord number 1. There's different ways to play these, but today I'm just going to show you these voicings that I'm using here, okay? Second chord, we're going to move down 2 frets, so down to fret number 5, and lift each finger up 1 string towards the ceiling. So we have 5th fret, string number 6, 7th fret, string number 5, 5th fret, string number 4, 6th fret, string number 3, and 5th fret on the first 2 strings. And that is called an A7. Now, when people refer to this chord, they often call it a dominant 7 chord, but the actual name of this chord here is A7, okay? Third chord, 5th fret. We can bar this one all the way down from the 5th fret, string number 5 to string 1, just like we did for the first chord shape. But we're going to use our ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, middle finger on the 6th fret of the G string, and pinky finger on the 7th fret of the B string. Your first finger is barring that 1st string. Now, if you don't bar it, it's still a D major 7, but with it, you have that high note, right? So we had the E minor 7, A7, to D major 7. Now in the key of D major, E minor 7 is the 2nd chord, A7 is the 5th chord, the dominant chord, and D major 7 is the 1st chord. Now you'll notice on the D major 7, I'm actually barring the 6th string as well. Oftentimes I'll throw that in just to make the chord heavier. Not that you necessarily need to do that, so you could do it from here down. I'll just hold it. If I had to get a lower A note ringing out. But if you do that too low, it can sound a little heavy. You may or may not like that. I just like how it fills up the progression. Without that bar. Okay, now the 4th chord, we're going to go down to the 4th fret. We're going to bar the middle 4 strings, okay? First string, I'm actually blocking with my pinky finger over here. You can just find a way to not play that string. We're going to bar those 4 strings, and we're going to put our middle finger on the 5th fret of the D string and ring finger on the 5th fret of the B string. You can also do 1 finger per string. I just prefer the bar method here. And that is a C sharp minor 7 flat 5, otherwise known as a half diminished chord, okay? And like I said, I'll get into the theory in a minute behind all these chord shapes. Now, in this progression here we're going to go into, so the first 3 chords are like its own thing. You can think of, now these 3 chords coming up will be their own thing as well. So we're going to go from the C sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord to an F sharp 7, and we're going to add a sharp 5 just for some color, okay? Make it a little more interesting. So you could still just do an F sharp 7, like the A7 that we did on the 2nd fret, but we're going to do this F sharp 7 sharp 5. So 2nd fret string 6, 2nd fret string 4, 3rd fret string 3, 3rd fret string number 2. And the nice thing here is that this note here, as we go, will stay on top once we resolve it, okay? And again, I'm not playing that 1st string. Now, if you want to keep the voice leading the same, when we go to this B minor 7 here, we're going to go down to the 2nd fret, string number 5, bar all the way down, 4th fret on the D string, 3rd fret on the B string. And instead of going all the way to the 1st string, if you want to keep it consistent, I'm just blocking that 1st string out. So you have this instead of. Right, so it's a subtle difference, but to me that sort of makes it does make all the difference to block that out. See this instead of on top, right? So there's all kinds of subtle things you can look at in these chords in terms of how the notes relate to each other, and we can look at that as voice leading, like which notes lead to the next, how far do you have to jump. Ideally, you want them to stay as close as possible, right? So that's why I'm doing this. We don't want any big jumps. Now, sometimes you do want big jumps depending on the genre you're playing, but for these jazzier chords today, keep them close. All right, so this chord here, C sharp minor 7 flat 5, is chord number 7 in the key of D major. Typically, it would be F sharp minor in the key of D, but I'll explain this in a second. We can also substitute the F sharp 7 chord and then the sharp 5 to sort of as a lead into that B minor. Sort of implies the harmonic minor scale there. Then back to the B minor, right? So chord number 7, chord number 3, chord number 6. Now, if you've got into music theory before, you might remember that chord number 6 is your relative minor. So D major, and then we go to our relative minor, B minor. So this is our relative minor. If we call that chord number 1, C sharp diminished becomes chord number 2 in B minor, okay? F sharp 7 sharp 5 becomes chord number 5, and B minor becomes chord number 1. So in the key of B minor, this is a minor 2 5 1. So just a nice distinction to make. So this is a 2 5 1 in D major. This is a 2 5 1 in B minor. Okay, so both very good things to work with. Now, theory-wise, like why would you want to do that? Well, if you learn a lot of jazz songs, you'll realize that they're actually peppered in with 2 5 1s everywhere. So knowing these progressions all over the fretboard is a really good thing to have under your fingers. This is just one way, though. So keep in mind when you do these kind of progressions, eventually you'll want many different ways to play through these, or at least 2 to start. But we'll start with just this one of each example. So a major 2 5 1 and a minor 2 5 1. But the beautiful thing there is you can combine them together. And it works really nicely. So you get both of those in the same exercise. So once you get that comfortable in one spot, move it around as much as you can to try to change the key. And you'll find you will hit some limitations because we only have one way to play these, right? So once you get these down, try to find a different way to play it. So instead of playing, for example, E minor here, to A7 here, to D major 7 here, you could do like... And that would be the same progression, but in a different way, right? Same thing here. And there's a whole range of things you could do here. And a lot of different extensions we could add in to make it more fun. But nice way to start off. If you have questions, please let me know. Comments below. If you have a favorite voicing you want to lead me to, let me know as well. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more videos like this each week. It helps me make content like this. And I will see you very soon.